Henry, hey, congratulations for getting on board this film in full bloom.
Exactly. I'm super excited, man. It's one of the hottest films right now on the market. It releases tomorrow, October 15th. I mean, I believe everybody should watch this film, and this film is amazing. It's about, you figure when you fight or you're going for a fighter, you figure you're cheering for that certain fighter until you watch this movie. Until you watch this movie because it shows the two stories of two different cultures post World War II. An American, and you have a Japanese, and it just shows their whole storyline. So, begin when you start watching the film, like you think you're going for the American until you start seeing the family and the hardship of the Japanese fight that's coming in and watching the fight. I mean, I don't want to give you guys a whole story, but I do want to let you guys know that on that tomorrow, in full bloom is out in stores nationwide, and you guys make sure to go out and purchase it, watch it. It's an inspirational film. I mean, you guys have guys like Mike Tyson, Chris Cyborg, Fabricio Verdum, some of the biggest names in combat sports that are just raving about it.
So how did you get on board this film? Why did you want to become an executive producer on it?
I wanted to become an executive because I watched the film and I saw it and I says, you know what, I want to help push this film. I says I was attracted to it. This was actually it was brought to me by Mike Tyson and his team. Was the first time that they brought it to film because Mike Tyson's he's a huge fan, as you know, he's a huge fan of fighting. But when he brought the film, just like and I saw him, just like, man, this is a great storyline, man. This is a great storyline of these two cultures back in World War II, post World War II, how they come together in the most purest form through sports, and they're actually fighting in the ring, man. So I just think it's just an awesome film that it's really, in reality, it's really a family film. So if you have your family, your kids, you guys sit down and watch it because it gives you two perspective on the American culture and the Japanese culture.
So who did you cheer for, Masahiro or Clint, in the beginning?
Man, in the beginning, I thought I was cheering for Clint until I mean, I don't want to give you guys, all these Americans gonna hate me, but yeah, like towards the end, you almost start, you start cheering for his rival a bit because you see the hardships, you see the honor and the country, the fact that he's fighting him in his country, and it's hard to say, but you got to watch the film.
You personally, did you relate to one character more than the other in their drive?
Of course, I think, and that's the beauty about it is like I related to both of their stories. You know, from the want of the American, representing the flag, and the grit and the adversity of the Japanese. Where it was based more on honor. It puts things into perspective. It's almost like you take bits and pieces of both of me as a fighter, as an active fighter. It's uh it's just an amazing film.
What about boxing movies that people love so much, or what do you love about boxing movies so much?
What I love about boxing movies so much is the lead up of what happens before they fight. I think that's the most important thing. So if we watch movie like Rocky Balboa, I've watched all the Rocky movies, you know, and how is it that the build up to the fight, and sometimes when they win and they forget that drive in Rocky, he started getting rich and then he loses all his money. I mean, this is all real stuff, you know. These are all real life experiences that tends to happen in sports, man. But it's just life in general. I think it's cool. But I think what separates in Full Bloom with your typical boxing movie is the fact that you have these two different cultures that you think you can relate to one until you see the other one. It's almost like, wait, this is the human race. So to me, it's a human race story, movie that really conveys and gives you the perspective on two sides of two different cultures.
Well, I'm going to ask this in a different way. Do you like to gravitate more towards underdogs or towards champions?
Oof, well, I've been in both, and I've been a huge underdog my whole life. Um, and I've the majority of the big ones that I've ever had, it's because I've been an underdog. I think I might like the underdog, but now that when you become champion, it almost becomes harder because there's so many bullseyes on your back. That's one of the hardest questions. I'll be quite honest with you that I have ever been asked because I would be a hypocrite to say the underdog, because now when you're champion, you're like, no, 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 no. I see the champion side too. But I will say this: I did win the majority of my fights because I've been an underdog. So I might lead more towards being the underdog.
Well, you had the taste of both, that's for sure. Now, now officially, right now you're in retirement, but this is your first taste in Hollywood per se. Would you see this as a next path in career, possibly down the road?
Of course, man. I would love to. I would love to act. I would love to be part of films. You know, that's kind of what I do in mixed martial arts. I'm a persona. You know, I have a character that I like to bring out and to test and to get people fired up. You know, I am the heel, and I go from 0 to 100, and I think that's the beauty about it. You know, so I'm almost an actor now, but of course, man, I would love to make it into Hollywood someday. But if it never happens, it's okay too, man. I'm happy.
I mean, you don't have to tell me the truth, but I just want to know, just curious, how much of a persona of Henry is actually out there when you actually tease people about these fights?
Well, it's really me. It's just I'm just elevating. I'm just turning up the volume. That's it. You know, to me, it's a challenge too, because I know that the more that I talk, the more that I got to really perform. So it's a challenge off of me. So that's the way I use it. I use that persona as a challenge because nobody wants to see me win. So I got to do whatever it takes to win, and that means winning at all costs, being pushed by my own persona.
Most excellent, most excellent. Now, um, obviously, in the past 10 days, 14 days, you've been on the news quite a bit because do you want to come out of retirement, really?
Yeah, I would love to. That means I would become the first three division champ in UFC history, which something that has never been done. I would love to make history. I really would, but the risk has to be worth the reward. I think we can come together with Dana White. You know, let's make the purses right for both parties, and let me beat him up in front of his own people, man. I'd love to fight him in Australia in front of 60,000 people. I would be the underdog once again, and I will rise once again.
Has discussions at least started?
No, I could potentially have a meeting with Dana White next week, so we'll see. We'll see.
Great. And how during this entire semi-retirement are you still training for things? So it seems like you sound like you are ready.
Oh, I'm always ready. I'm still active. I'm still physically. I'm in my prime. I'm still good. I feel strong. There's a lot of got a lot of got a lot of juice behind this muscle, and the opportunity is gonna have to. The opportunities. If the opportunity arises, I'm ready because of my preparation. Because yeah, I'm retired, but I still love the sport of mixed martial arts, and I still train every day. So I'm retired, not competing, but if I unretire, I will be ready.
And just speaking of one more thing about retirement, even let's say if the fight doesn't go on, what projects do you have? I understand you have a daughter in the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a baby for the first. I'm gonna have a baby. I'm gonna be a dad for the first time, November 21st. We're gonna name her Baby America. So she's gonna be here. I'm doing real estate right now. I have three projects that are being built. I'm co-hosting Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson, which is one of the world's largest, biggest podcasts in the world. And I'm also doing another show with the Triple C and the Schmo. Where we come out with our characters and we analyze the sport of mixed martial arts. So far so good, man. I'm excited. I'm happy, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So if I never come back to fighting, I'm also good too.
Well, before I let you go, Henry, if you do come back, do you are you going to see yourself as a Masahiro or Clint in that next matchup?
Oh man, that's a good one. Oh my god. I might be more of a Masahiro, to be quite honest with you, on this one, because I would be the underdog and I would be fighting in somebody. No, I might be fighting him here, but as the underdog. So that's a good question. It's a hard question, but I'm sure you love the film.
I do love the film. It is terrific. I love the training sessions. I love the one take fights. I mean, it is a beautiful film, Henry.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Well, it's awesome to speaking to you and catching up with you on the, the film and life. Thank you very much for carrying this conversation with us. Hopefully, we get to see you in the ring again.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.